Hello, and welcome to the Calhoun Communications show on Rock Your Block. I'm your host, Dionne Calhoun, along with my guest co-host, Corlina Willis. On our last segment, you were introduced to 4 amazing women entrepreneurs, successful in their careers, all while serving the community. And back today, we have the Director of Operations with Exit Elite Realty in DC. She works with agents on business planning and mindset training. She works with investor clients to close real estate transactions, but her passion lies in building the Sherese Speaks brand and publishing her new book. Welcome back to the show, Sherese.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. So we talk about how well-rounded you are, and we're going to get into a lot of those talents that you have. But talk to us about how you landed in the real estate industry.
I landed in the real estate industry after purchasing my first home in 2006 when the market tanked. But I was working at a job that I enjoyed my job, but there was just a lot of, I had a very long commute. It was just very frustrating to come and go. And I was helping the MBA students at Georgetown University with their career management. So bringing in, different recruiters who were coming. And all of these students were making a whole lot of money. So I saw the job offers and I'm like, okay, something's not right here. So I took my real estate class, I passed it, and I just said I wanted to go all in. So I ended up quitting my job in 2007 and I haven't looked back.
So will you call that like a calculated risk?
Yes. Now I made sure I had enough to sustain me for a year, and it took me almost 8 months to close my first transaction, but haven't gone back yet.
Wonderful. I oftentimes talk about on social media being a game changer.
Yes.
And so being a game changer, wherever you go, whether it's at work, whether it's a special project that you're working on, just basically being and putting your mark on that world. And so can you tell me about a game-changing experience for you?
Absolutely. So being a game changer really started for me when I was probably in junior high school, because I've always been taller than everyone, I've always been bigger than everyone. So when I walk into a room, it's like, okay, am I an exhibit? Like, what's happening?
Right.
People are staring at me. So I had to learn how to own that, because at first it kind of took away some of my confidence. But then once I owned that and decided, hey, listen, no one else is like me. There's one Sherese Seevers, and I'm going to Sherese Seevers the you-know-what out of it. So that's what I've just, decided to do. So in terms of a game-changing moment, I like to create those moments constantly. Probably my Exit Real Estate convention from 2016, where I was honored to speak on the main stage, was probably the biggest game-changing moment I've had in my career so far. So.
Wonderful. So can you tell us about when you became when you decided to become an entrepreneur?
I just kind of dibbled and dabbled in a bunch of different things. I think that the real estate, along with my love for cooking, that really has kind of dipped into this entrepreneurial thing that I do. So I started a boutique catering company called the Mobile Happy Hour. I don't do that as much anymore, but that kind of shifted me into what I'm doing now with cooking, which is my crab pies and my crab pie business. So I just like to, calculated risks, I guess, always going back to that.
So would you say some of your personal or professional goals spilled over into that of becoming a new entrepreneur?
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe very strongly in having multiple streams of income. I think that's very important. Absolutely. I like a certain lifestyle, and I want to make sure I can afford that. And also my daughter, I have a 7-year-old daughter, and it's very important for me that she does not have to look past the front door for a mentor or a role model or a hero. So I love to have her watching me in motion and working.
That's interesting. So would you say she's the one who inspires you the most?
Oh my God, yes. One of my biggest inspirations, my daughter and my mom. She passed away in 2006. I named my daughter after my mom, Melanie.
Wow.
So I always say I do everything for Melanie and Melanie.
Okay.
You mentioned basically going for what you want out of life. You called it being bold, but I guess we look at that as being confident and just really having that drive to actually go out for it. So what would you tell another young lady about just making sure that she goes out for what is destined for her?
The first thing I would say is to identify what your passion is. I think that we all have special gifts and talents. They're all different. So what you're great at is for you, what you're great at is for you, what I'm great at is for me. So once you figure out what you're great at and kind of really own this passion for that, go for it. Be very bold. Ask people, rub shoulders with people who are already doing that. Study it. You have to study your craft as well. So, social media is very powerful to help you just kind of grow your gift and enhance your talents and your skills. A lot of this stuff, you get these gifts and these talents, and it's up to you to use them or to squander them.
Let's touch on social media.
Let's touch on it.
You are phenomenal on social media.
Thank you.
We watch you on social media.
Every day. I have the posts.
Yes,
every day.
every day. You have positive affirmations.
Yes.
We can read some of those positive affirmations off.
Okay.
You said one day, I dream big, and those dreams come true.
Yes.
You said on another day, everything I'm seeking
Oh, that's my favorite one.
is seeking me.
Yes.
So tell us about how this started.
So it came from the concept of affirmations I learned at Exit Realty. So I love Exit Realty. Every time we go to convention, our founder, Steve Morris, he's very big on affirmations. And when I first started to do it, I felt very silly doing it because I'm like, I just say this and then it happens. It felt very silly. But I went to an amazing training called Ambassador Training that really helped me to understand that there's power in the words that I speak and there's power in the words that I write. So I really stuck to the affirmations principle after that. So I would just jot it down. I'm an amazing speaker. All of these things that I want to do and that I want to be, I just started writing it down. But I do want to say this about affirmations, because you can't just say, hey, I want to be a millionaire, and then you show up at the bank and there's lots of extra commas in your bank account. You have to do the work. You have to commit to the work behind the affirmation.
Yes.
And so that's just seeking opportunity. So one of the speaking engagements that I booked, I reached out to them and I said, hey, listen, I want to come speak to your agents. How can we do this?
Right.
And there wasn't an event on the calendar, and they created it. So that's why I say everything I'm seeking is seeking me.
Being
there
proactive,
wasn't a platform for me to come there and speak, but I opened up my mouth and I asked for it. I support it with, they saw me speaking before, and they can see how passionate I am through social media.
We look at that as preparing yourself, so when that opportunity comes up, you're ready to walk in.
And that's what happened in my real estate career, because it took me 8 months to close a deal, but I learned everything.
Right.
So when the deal was there, I was ready to go.
So can you tell us about what are some of your greatest accomplishments while at Exit Realty?
Okay, I did a really great commercial real estate transaction that at the time was the biggest one in company history. So that was like my biggest paycheck that I was very excited about.
Game changer.
Yes.
Game changer.
Changed the game, changed my bank account a little bit. So yes, that was one. And just the speaking that I'm working on now. I'll also say this, with Exit Elite Realty, as the director of operations, I started a weekly column called Dear Monday. And I would consider that a game-changing experience as well, just based on the feedback that I get from my agents. And it really, really brightens my day when I send out the message on Monday and people respond, or they post it and share it on social media. I love that.
And then also setting yourself apart. Like when you go in, you create legacy, not only for the company, but when you leave, it's something that's still there.
It's still there.
And you created it.
It's still there.
Let's jump back to the positive affirmations. And so what are people saying? And how are you inspiring others with
So
these?
it's contagious. I found that it's very contagious. People, my brother from another mother, but he is a very positive guy, and he just started doing it too. Like, he's like, listen, my sister does this all the time. I'm starting it on my page. And then it just keeps spreading. It's contagious. I got my daughter into it. I went to her school a couple of weeks ago, and I saw just, in the hallways, they post all of these things. And I'm like, oh my God, affirmations are around you too. So when we're in the car in the morning, I say, what's your affirmation for the day? What's your word for the year? And she's like, I am the best student in the class. Or, I pass all of my tests and I get all A's, and she says that and she believes it.
So that positive energy, speaking things into existence, you're starting to see dreams happen.
Yes,
right.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm crazy enough to believe that they will all come true.
So as an entrepreneur, what's next for Sherese Speaks?
I'm so excited about Sherese Speaks. Sherese Speaks is a mindset, and I consider it a lifestyle enhancement platform. And to me, I've started it to encourage and inspire and empower entrepreneurs, just like yourselves, because entrepreneurship is very rewarding, but it's also challenging. And you have to sometimes have a kick in the butt. Sometimes you need a hug.
Right.
Sometimes, you need something that keeps you going on your journey every single day.
Right. I think mentors also.
Oh God, yes.
You're never too old to be able to call up.
You have to be a
mentor.
sponge. You have to be a sponge, and you have to understand that there's always another level to evolve to. So I set specific goals, and then once I achieve those, I'm moving on to the next one. So right now, I'm very focused on completing my book, which surrounds the Dear Monday platform. That's what the book is about. So once that's done, hopefully by Mother's Day. Well, actually, let me not say hopefully. Let me do affirmation. My book will be done by Mother's Day, and then I'll be moving on to the next thing.
Yes. And the next thing would be speaking in front of.
Yes,
big
I
crowds.
want to do a lot of. I want to hit different real estate companies. I want to hit different network marketing conventions. Girl power stuff. We're all about the girl power, and I really want to speak to the youth, because I think there's a lot of things that we missed when we were growing up. I didn't understand the power of owning real estate. I didn't understand all those different things. So I feel like if you learn it at a younger age, you're much better off. So I just want to speak
as
to
a
that.
youth, you started basically with Teen Summit.
Yes.
So let's just take it on back there.
Oh my God, yes.
And you see,
Oh my
and
God.
you can see now the transformation because you're still doing this now.
That's crazy. I wish Teen Summit still existed. That show was so powerful, and it helped so many kids just like ourselves.
Absolutely.
Just to understand that we can dream bigger, and we can hope for more, we can wish for more. It's possible.
And this is coming from 3 products of DC Public Schools,
Yes.
which is also a testament
Absolutely.
to be able to give back to the youth.
I'm excited.
We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with Sherese after these important announcements. Stay tuned.
We are this close
We're this close.
We are this close
of wanting to making history.
This close to changing the world.
We're this close.
This close to making sure no child suffers a crippling disease.
Ever again. This close.
We are this close to ending polio.
Ending polio. All we need is you.
This close.
If we don't act now, we may lose this chance forever. Help Rotary make history at endpolionow.org.
You are watching the Calhoun Communications segment of Rock Your Block with our special guest, Sherese Renee Seevers, motivational speaker and realtor of Exit Realty. Sherese,
Yes.
you do a lot of work at Exit Realty, but what are some of the things that you're also doing in the community?
Some of the things I'm doing in the community, I'm very excited about the Dream Girls Conference that's coming up. I think it's very important, especially on this entrepreneurial journey, to surround yourself with the right people. You have to be able to grow. You have to, I give you a little something, you give me a little something. So this is a girl, the person who founded this, Agina Atkinson. We went to church together a million years ago when we were teenagers. And she had started this amazing movement, Dream Girls Movement, and I am honored to be able to speak at the convention coming up next month.
Wonderful.
So I'm doing that. And I have some other little things that are in the works
Yes.
that you'll hear about as the seasons change into the spring.
Wonderful. So when is the Dream Girls Convention for the viewers if they want to know? And
Yes.
where it is?
Yes, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, March 16th through the 19th, and you can still register. you can still register for that too.
And what if they want to be a part of this whole movement? Like, how do they reach out?
Contact me on social media. I'm Sherese Mamapreneur Seevers, and I will get you all the information you need.
Wonderful. Oh, wonderful. So can you tell us about some of your motivational Mondays that I want to kind of go back to that
Sure.
because I'm a person who I have positive affirmations behind my daughter's door.
Yes.
And I'm like, read those every morning because I really want her to be empowered by that. So tell me, how has that spilled over into some of your realtors that you have?
So Monday is a great day in real estate. So a lot of times, and you're looking on social media, people are dreading going back to work on Monday because they've had fun all weekend and now you got to go back to the job. To me, as an entrepreneur, Mondays are fantastic because you're setting the tone for the week. You're going in. It's very important to have your to-do list. What am I going to accomplish today? What am I going to accomplish this week? So the Dear Monday and the Monday thing for me is designed to set the tone for the week. So you might be able to knock everything out on that Monday, or it'll go up to Wednesday, or it may be a really, really busy week and you're doing something every single day. But the Monday is what keeps you focused, keeps your eyes on the prize, because there's always something that we have to be doing. We have to be working while others are sleeping. We gotta always be ahead of the curve. So the Monday is my day.
Right.
To get everything going.
So you're like just the cheerleader, the coach, the trainer.
And here's
like,
the thing, I need a
Exactly.
cheerleader too. So that's what's important. Again, surrounding yourself with the right people who keep you
of
going.
like mind, but then also that are going to make you reach for more.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. So, because sometimes I don't feel like doing it, but you have to do it. And it's just a second. It's just a 60-second pity party. That's all I give myself, 60 seconds, and then I'm back at it.
Ambition is also a word that we touch on a lot. And ambition, maybe for a woman, might not necessarily be what people want to hear.
Okay.
So can you touch on being a woman and then also being ambitious, knowing what you want, making the necessary steps to get there, having people in your path, and then making sure that you are that rock star in whatever it is that you do, and claiming it and walking right into it.
That's what, I've been groomed to do that ever since I was a little girl. My grandmother, she just really taught me about how to be confident and how to open up your mouth and ask for what you want. And I am not afraid of that, because what's the worst thing that someone can say to
No.
me? No. Okay. Next.
Thank you.
And you keep it moving.
And then you move on, And I also think that understanding that every single day is not going to be roses and flowers and all of that. Failure is absolutely a part of the process. So once we understand that failure is a part of the process, we can get knocked down. You get knocked down 9 times, but you get back up 10 times.
Right. We want people to know also, if you get down, don't stay there.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? Dust it off and keep
Dust
moving.
it off and keep it moving. Keep it moving, because if not, the next person is going to take your opportunity. And then what?
Absolutely.
Can you touch on that? Can you tell us about some of your biggest obstacles thus far, like dealing with being a speaker as well as also dealing with that within Exit Realty?
And then even maybe having naysayers.
Oh,
Absolutely.
the naysayers are
Naysayers,
everywhere.
yeah.
They're everywhere, but they are my biggest motivation. They are my biggest motivation. There's a lot of, not everyone wants to see you win.
Yes.
And a lot of times that has nothing to do with me. That has to do with them and the bitterness that they have inside of them and their lack of confidence or their lack of having great mentors and a great team around them.
Yes.
I have to shine even brighter
Yes.
when that happens.
Yes.
And I'm faced with that, and I don't let it discourage me.
You don't let it
Instead,
diminish your
Yeah,
life.
not at all. I take pride in being the bigger person. So, you can say what you want and you can post subliminal things or whatever you want to do. People do that, but I dust it off and I keep it moving. You kill them with success.
Right.
Yes,
So you're
yes.
taking that negative energy and turning it positive.
Absolutely.
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 We'll do a little skit about.
Skit?
Yes,
Little
a
skit?
little
Okay.
skit.
Okay.
We want to throw out some words for you, and just in that word, with that word that we throw out, we just want to know what your thoughts are on that. Like, for example, passion.
Okay.
Passion. What your thoughts are on that? If you can just say that in one quick.
I'm going to
little
give you a couple
statement.
words.
Okay. Okay. I'm nervous. Was that the first one?
Yes.
Passion.
Okay, passion
Passion.
was the first one. Passion, I think about, that ties to success for me. Passion equals success.
Drive.
Passion.
Success.
Success. So
Legacy.
what about destiny?
Yes.
Oh, destiny. Oh, that's a good one.
Yes.
Destiny.
Let's think about all the things that have put you've gone through, everything that you've been through to get you to this moment.
Yes.
Yes. I am very transparent. I always strip down, and I'll tell you, I am an open book. The book is book is always open,
Right.
and I'm ready to turn the pages all the time. I feel very strongly that we all have a story. Every single person has a story, and your story is written in ink. And to me, that means, we can't change our past.
Right.
But as you get more experiences, your penmanship improves as your story unfolds
Right.
every single day. So,
And people connect with stories, and
Yeah.
when they feel like they can relate to you, then the story is even more believable.
so I'm excited about building my story and sharing my story and not having to refer to other people's stories and experiences. So when I speak now, and I'm always open to feedback, that's another way you sharpen your sword. I never want to say that I knocked it out of the park. I'm confident, of course, and I
Yes.
know when I'm connecting. But there's always room to grow. So every time I speak or every time I write something that I send out, I'm asking for feedback. What could I have done differently? What could I
Right.
have said differently?
Absolutely.
And that's what helps me to get better.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So one more word, purpose.
Oh, purpose. We all have one. Purpose directly ties me to my daughter. Because I am responsible for that girl.
Yes.
I'm shaping her every single day. And she looks up to me. She looks up to me a lot. So, purpose, Melanie, that's my word.
And she's writing her positive affirmations
She is
daily.
She is, and she's actually going to release a book after my book comes out.
Wow. So what is her book about? If you don't mind
She's
telling
building it now. She has a couple of things going on. One is Word Girl. She's like a superhero who writes.
Oh, wow.
She's got a couple of little things going on. She's really good. So when we're in the car a lot, we have notebooks everywhere. I have
Everywhere.
notebooks
I
everywhere.
have the
She
same
has
thing.
them everywhere too. And she just starts writing. I'm like, pick up on Word Girl. What is she doing? And she's like, I don't want to tell you what Word Girl is doing yet. I got to finish.
Oh,
So
wow. Wonderful, wonderful.
it's really cool.
Sherese, what would you say to anyone that wants to actually start their own business? What steps do they need to actually be able to become that entrepreneur?
You have to learn from someone who's been there and done that and has the t-shirt already. So figure out how to get in front of those people. The game changers, the people who are making moves, the people who are making a difference. Figure out how to get around them. And a lot of times, again, it's about opening your mouth and asking for it.
Right.
So don't just assume they're going to tell you no. Figure out a way. If they tell you no one time, figure out a different way to get around to them.
Right.
Maybe you need to send them a direct message. Maybe they're speaking on something and they say, hey, I'm going to be at so-and-so on Friday at 12. Be there on Friday at 12. Make sure you're there where the people are who are making those moves that you want to make. And then study your craft. Always
Right.
study your craft.
Absolutely. So let's just say you have a millennial,
Okay.
right, that has the answers.
Oh,
And
they have all the answers.
And they don't just necessarily know how to go about asking for that help. Like, what advice would you give?
Listen. Listen before you speak. You have to listen before you speak because there's always something to learn. I think that sometimes we close ourselves off from learning things, but everyone is always learning and growing, even the most successful people. Like one of my idols, Oprah Winfrey, she's always learning and growing. She's always doing something different. She has grown the OWN network and now she's doing Weight Watchers. You see, she's got her hands in a bunch of different
Yes.
things, but she's always learning something. So you have to be willing to do that, no matter how successful you are.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So creating those rapports are key with making sure
Rapport,
and
relationships. Oh my God.
just making sure. So how would one, like if I'm this 20-year-old or 21-year-old just got out of school and I'm really dying to do something great and I know I have this idea and I feel like maybe this is not attainable, but the people are not attainable. I need to be around stars or I need to be around actors and I really want to do this. How would I even navigate that? Like, what advice besides just listening would you give?
There's always a person who makes an impact on you. There's always someone who you turn to when maybe things aren't going the best. Even if they're not in the field that you're thinking about, they have relationships. You can leverage other people's relationships. Networking is very, very important. You've got to get out there. You're not going to achieve all of your career goals, your relationship goals, if you're just sitting at home, waiting for stuff to fall into your lap. So taking that kind of action with people that that you have already kind of developed some relationships with. Maybe your counselor at school, or maybe people, if you belong to a church or a gym or whatever it is, just grabbing onto those people. Hey, let me take you out for coffee.
Right. Just kind of feel like being proactive, having that strategic plan, being able to execute it, having those goals, and basically making sure that you're being able to be accountable.
Oh my God, that
accountability is key, because when you set those goals, you got to make sure you check off that box.
If not, it's just a wish.
If not, it's just an idea.
Gotta put it
right.
into action.
Absolutely.
Gotta have an
Absolutely.
action plan.
But to also touch back on the mentorship that you talked about, can you tell us about your mentor?
Oh, I have a couple of different ones.
That's all. That's good too.
A couple of different mentors, but my mentors give me that feedback. So I always go back to that word feedback, and I always say, what could I have done? What should I have done? And I listen to it, and I take notes of it, and I want to directly apply what it is that they're sharing with me. So I have a mentor in real estate. I have a mentor for cooking, and I have a mentor for writing my book as well. So I've partnered with a great team that's really going to help me get it out there the way I want it to be presented.
And our final question is about
Did you save the best for last?
Yes,
Okay.
just community. What you are doing in the community right now?
I need to be doing more, so let me say that. That's one of my goals for 2017, is to get out there a lot more. But in terms of community, I would say I'm most active with my church, which is called Community of Hope, AME Church. So I have some things in store and cooking with them, and with my daughter's school as well. So I really like to be with the youth, and because I need them to see
That's your passion,
role
right?
models. Role
And they
models are
have
so
to.
important.
So important. So we need to have you back on the show when we do our town hall for teens.
Yes. I would love
Because
to
that
be
is
here for
another
that.
segment. We are trying to reach the youth. We believe that you empower the youth when you give them that opportunity to speak on issues that impact them.
And Raising Queens, that's another nonprofit organization that I'm partnering with too.
Yes, absolutely. So we look forward to having you, and we
Absolutely.
know
I
that the
wanna be here.
viewers
Yes.
enjoyed you and received so much from you.
Thank you.
We thank you. Thank you for being
Thank
here,
you for the
Sherese.
opportunity. I really appreciate it.
And we will have you back maybe for those crab pies.
You better. You better.
I want to thank our viewers who are tracking us in 40 states across America. I hope that our guest Sherese Speaks inspired you with her positive affirmations and her story on your road to success. We are so grateful, and we will continue to work hard to bring you great empowering shows to educate and to inform you. Tune in next week to another great segment on Rock Your Block. Bye, folks.